Hello everybody, welcome back to Level 1 News. Today's February 18th. It's Friday, so that means we're doing nonsense and robots. Which also probably maybe a little bit of space. Is there any space articles?
The first robot's nonsense.
Definitely some space. Yeah, the first robot, man, everybody is just stealing the design, aren't they?
They are.
I mean, I guess you can't copyright this
A
kind
general
of
idea,
thing,
yeah.
But yeah, this is a spot robot. It's not really a spot robot.
It's not for
great
Boston
value
Dynamics.
spot.
But I guess you know what? It works. So why do something different, right? Now the problem with this robot, the thing that's going to be controversial here, is his job. Some people are not going to like it.
Feature article: Robot dogs take another step towards deployment at the border. For those reasons.
I read it and I was like, what's the dog gonna do here?
Just patrol.
Surveillance.
Yeah, it's other than surveillance. Like, I imagine they see someone crossing the border illegally and the dog comes up to it and, you know, they just push it over and run away. Like,
I'm almost certain that I've seen this in countless dystopian sci-fis where after the fall of civilization, these guys are just running back and forth at arbitrary points in the desert and we'll just, you know, shoot on sight kind of thing.
We'll be after the fall. We'll be trying to link up with the Mexicans just to, you know, restore human contact.
And that's the danger.
And we're trying to get across the dog area.
these are the low-level monsters in Horizon Zero Dawn that you have to shoot in the starting area.
Yeah. So that's, you know, that's terrible. But I don't know. I suppose they'll summon somebody else to come if they find something.
I mean, if they're patrolling a huge area, is that even helpful? Like, I'll be there in 30 minutes, robot.
I don't know. It's a great headline, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, it looks cool, but...
And, of course, we all want self-driving, right? Everything needs to be self-driving. But when it comes to cars, yeah, just build the future ones to be self-driving. Because cars, we cycle them in and out pretty quickly. But some vehicles you want to last a little bit longer than a car. And it's much more difficult to get a new one. So what do?
DARPA flies a Black Hawk helicopter without a pilot for 30 minutes.
Sikorsky Matrix autonomous flying technology. So they will take your existing stuff and they will modify it to be autonomous.
This would be great for rescue operations. It's like, it's too risky. We can't risk losing a pilot. It's like, all right, just send the helicopter and get the people.
But then the equation becomes, is this person worth as much as this self-driving helicopter?
Not a lot, no.
And the helicopter comes back and it's got them, but they're dangling from the safety cord and their head is gone because it went down too far.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This did not account for that.
And there's a trail of blood as it...
Oh.
Well, bad news for SpaceX. Ooh. Now, who do you think pays for this?
This might be an insurance claim.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Their premiums are probably going up.
That is a big one.
Though, I don't know if it would be a successful claim. We'll talk about it in the story, I guess.
But you can monitor this type of thing,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Seems
There's
like,
a whole space weather website.
Why go through with this launch? It makes no sense.
A geomagnetic storm may have effectively destroyed 40 SpaceX Starlink satellites. So it didn't destroy them, but it was happening such that they had a lot of extra drag, and they don't have enough fuel to reach the orbit where they were supposed to go.
Do you think they even know that they're doomed yet?
Some of them have already burned up, yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
oh, we made it. We're SpaceX satellites. Where are the other guys?
Oh, where'd everyone go?
Apparently 8 or 9 of them did make it, so there was at least some reason to believe that they could deal with this.
I think this was a medium event. Like, it's not catastrophic for us here on Earth, but like, it was projected ahead of time. They knew it was coming.
They usually don't worry about drag in space, obviously, because there's no air. But here, they actually turned them sideways with the solar panels cutting through the geomagnetic storm because they knew this was going to happen. Again, why not just delay the launch?
Yeah.
But it didn't work.
It was worse than expected, or well, we weren't careful like Icarus.
Carrington event 2022.
I guess the rose-colored glasses way of looking at that is that we learned an important lesson about spaceflight, and Elon Musk paid for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the taxpayer is going to pay for this, and this is an ambitious little project.
Yeah.
You think the Webb telescope had a lot of moving parts that could go wrong? Imagine this.
NASA picks Lockheed Martin to build rocket to carry Mars samples back to Earth. So this is a $194 million project. That's like pocket change anymore to the billionaires that we often report on. We're going to go to Mars, we're going to get some samples, and we're going to bring them back to Earth.
NASA's so excited. They're like, yes, finally, we get some more space rocks. Uh-oh. Oh. Our browser kind of messed up there.
Fun times.
Space.com. It's not having it. And augmented reality. That is the other thing that was supposed to be a big hit. And you don't really see a whole lot of it. Seems like everybody who's trying to do that keeps botching it. But that doesn't stop them from continuing to make announcements. Unfortunately, the name associated with this announcement is known more for bad things. And do we really want them in charge of security?
Clearview AI is working on augmented reality goggles for Air Force security. So, and they're keeping the details quiet. Here's the details. It is a camera with a heads-up display, and it sees you, and it says, "Ooh, I think that person is this guy that has 17 outstanding warrants." And then your day just gets much worse from there.
Well, it's basically the Clearview system, which has been maligned endlessly for being poor, being racist, and just being evil in general.
Horribly racist.
So then they're going to pop that in a cloud somewhere and put it in your glasses. What could go wrong?
Yeah. It's just what we need. Somebody that is, barely competent to work mall security, and the thing telling them that, that you're a terrorist. I mean, they'll just shoot you.
Wow. Way to cast shade on the MPs for the Air Force. And if Elon Musk is having a bad week, and I'm pretty sure that he is, at least he can take some solace in the fact that he didn't have this bad a week. His problem was not this much of a problem.
Astra launch of NASA-sponsored CubeSat has failed. So maybe NASA was right to just keep awarding contracts to SpaceX.
So they're not sure exactly what happened. They think it was one of the staging systems did not separate correctly.
And it just tumbled.
But for sure, that CubeSat ain't going to be up there.
Oof.
Gonna have to make another one of those. Again, I ask, who pays for that?
It died.
Is that on Astra? NASA's not going to pay for that, right?
No.
I hope not.
Our next one. We often talk about words that lose their meaning.
But did you read all of it? I think there might be more nuance to this.
There is a little bit more nuance, but
I'm imagining someone just taking stuff out of people's chests, and it's like the mod team descends with a fury and a quickness.
Also, hard to find a real story about it. I had to go to Free Malaysia Today to get a non-paywall version of this.
So are you talking about the explosives part of this? Because I got the feeling that was just teenagers with cherry bombs.
Well, he also had... I think he was more subversive than he let on. And I think this was just an excuse for that.
Yeah.
I don't think they care at all about Minecraft.
Yeah. Russian Minecraft quote-unquote terrorist gets 5 years in jail. So in Minecraft, there was a Russian, what was it, a train station or something?
No, it was like our version of a CIA building or something like that. FTB.
Yeah, in Minecraft. It exists in Minecraft. And so they were plotting to destroy that in Minecraft.
Using TNT?
Yeah.
A powerful domestic security agency and successor of the KGB. Can you really blame him for that?
Yeah, they don't like that. They arrested him. Now, they found a bunch of other stuff when they arrested him, which is not great.
He had been caught papering buildings with, like revolutionary stuff.
Yeah.
They knew him before, and I think he made some other kind of threat. Certainly not as cut and dry as a lot of the headlines made it out to be, but 5 years in Siberia?
Yeah.
5 years in Siberia seems a little harsh for a Minecraft thing.
Next year in November, if one of you gets caught griefing,
Guantanamo. Right to Guantanamo.
Yeah, it's like you're designated an enemy combatant for doing this stuff.
I mean, obviously don't grief, but like, it's kind of intense, isn't it?
Yeah, I think this is perhaps...
Chill out.
Again, just loss of meaning. Words have lost their meaning.
Oh yeah, the word terrorist has absolutely lost all meaning, hasn't it? It's astonishing how often that is trotted out.
Especially in Canada. I don't think any of those people in Canada are anything of the sort.
Oh, there's definitely terrorists in Canada. Come on. Let's not be naive.
Their population is only 30 million. It would have to be like 2 in the entire country.
But they're extreme. Here's a story where, I feel like I read the story and I didn't get enough information, and not enough bad things happened to this man.
Yeah.
Like, how is this? Is this a product of like the Great Resignation and the youth just hating everything? Or?
This is an old man. This guy wasn't a youth.
Oh, really? How old was he?
He was like in his 60s.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That makes it even crazier.
Bored museum security guard draws eyes on a pricey Russian painting. This painting worth over $1 million US.
Insured for $1 million.
Yeah.
No one's offered to buy it.
Much like an NFT. It's probably just a scam for money laundering.
So it's kind of hard to tell the difference. His eyes weren't very good.
Well, I mean, I think they're appropriate for the artwork.
Oh, you like the eyes?
Honestly, if I was the artist, if I had any say, I would be like, yeah, whatever.
Oh, I did not expect that to be your take on this, Krista.
I mean, obviously, he shouldn't have done it. But if I was the artist, I wouldn't have cared.
But I would think that, on your first day of security guard at the art museum, lesson 1, day 1.
Do not
don't
touch the artwork.
Yeah.
Do you think, though, I mean, I kind of get what Chris is saying now. I never would have considered that, but it's like, the artwork was so powerful that this guard had an irresistible urge to try.
I could talk about that at length, but I think the best kind of art is collaborative, so I would personally love that. But a lot of maybe more traditional artists would probably be like, don't touch it.
So you probably like the banana art then, where it was just the guy that taped the banana to the wall, and then he may have paid somebody to go eat the banana or something.
Yeah, I like that because it makes fun of the whole art community where they put too much value on just the idea of something. Like an NFT, but Duchamp did it better.
That guy was from a third-party staffing agency. He was not hired directly by the museum.
That staffing agency is probably just like, oh, shit.
Well, maybe the museum should start hiring their own security guys, right? Maybe part of the interview should be, can you go more than 5 minutes without being engaged with something?
Well, that's the other thing, too, right? Like, they probably don't want to pay someone health insurance and benefits and stuff. So we'll just do a third-party agency. What's the worst thing that could happen? Clearly this.
The other person's job title was Chief of Security for Tim Cook, but when they looked him up, he only came up as associate, so they hired that guy instead.
All right, this .in is India, right?
Yeah.
Did you understand anything?
No, I was hoping, my eyes glazed over, and it's I don't know. Maybe
I read it.
Engagement challenge?
I read it twice, and I don't know anything about it. It's in English. And yet, it conveyed no facts to me at all.
No meaning.
The Morning Express reports a question about Pokémon in a Carabinieri
What is that word?
The union intervenes. I don't understand this.
Why did we include this?
Just because it blew my mind. When I saw the Pokemon headline, I was like, oh, that'd be a fun nonsense story, right? Pokemon. And I cannot parse it at all.
No.
Listen to the answers, right? Here's the question. What is, among others, a characteristic of Pokemon, the creatures of the video game of the same name by Satoshi Tajiri? Here are your answers. Engagement challenge. Try to find the correct answer at home without cheating. Let them eat pizza. Let them not die in combat. Let them walk backwards. Or let them travel with one-wheeled bicycles.
This has to be like...
Is this a bot writing the article?
Maybe.
Did we get botted?
This might be the equivalent of... you remember number stations? Like, during the war, there would be radio stations of people just randomly reading numbers. Maybe this is the equivalent of that.
Or remember when they were using Britney Spears' Instagram?
Oh, yeah, they were decoding her messages.
To control the botnet? Yeah. Maybe that's this.
Weird.
Yeah, that's just madness. And, it's dark times, especially inflation. A lot of people trying to get food, trying to make sure that there's supply at the grocery store. And that's why this kind of theft is just disgusting.
Tens of thousands of bees stolen from grocery store in central PA headquarters.
I'll slap an H on that box so we know it's full of hornets.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that all 60,000 bees were in these 3 containers here. I mean, It probably doesn't take a whole lot to get 60,000 bees.
Bees?
But somebody wanted them.
Bees?
They don't allow you to have bees in here.
This after reading this story, the algorithm decided that I wanted to see other bee stories, and one of them was stingerless bees becoming popular pet in Australia.
How does it defend itself?
I just
didn't click on the article.
Nope.
Do you keep them in your home?
Every article I read about bees is like, oh no, they're dying. Please plant a pollinator garden.
Yeah. 45% lost last year.
I got so much clover in my yard.
That's great. They love clover.
I'm B positive.
Your neighbor next door who's probably spraying his lawn with pesticides, not so much. Isn't your neighbor kind of like a crazy lawn guy?
He just mows. I don't know
he doesn't spray. That's good.
I realized when I said B positive, most people probably think hepatitis.
The worst kind of B positive.
Here's a story that maybe this is the end, like the final stroke that destroys blockchain and NFTs, right? Like sometime in the future, after they've done this, this mouse becomes the downfall of that entire system somehow. We can only hope, at least.
DAO wants to inject Bitcoin into mouse DNA via genetically modified virus, dubbed Bitmouse.
Now, has anything happened in the last couple of years that might give us pause in terms of these kinds of experiments?
Genetic manipulation leading to bad things? So now I can't think of anything.
I can't think of any reason that you might want to avoid something like this. Some kind of unintended consequence coming from this.
It's yet another careful Icarus story.
So yes, they are going to put the Bitcoin number into the mouse's genome. Then they're going to turn that mouse into an NFT separately, and they expect both to increase in value as cryptocurrency increases in value.
What happens if you lose the mouse? What if your cat kills the mouse?
We have a machine to turn the mouse into an NFT. It's called the Power Blend 5000.
Well, they also said that the offspring of the mouse would also have the same sequence, but then wouldn't that make them all claims on the same money?
Yeah. It's like those old school farms where it's like great grandpappy had 500 acres, but now all the kids have like a half an acre.
Except it doesn't work like that. It's just whoever gets there first.
Yeah, that's true.
But then you have to figure out how to extract the number, and they haven't even proven that they could do that.
Yeah. Somebody should run this on the DNA of life on Earth and see if there's any, like, Kilroy was here in our DNA.
A blockchain.
We decode it, and it just says, "We're sorry for this." Well, we've had a couple of weeks in a row now, maybe 3, where book banning featured heavily. We are still banning books, and again, this is bipartisan. Well, I mean, it's partisan. It's entirely partisan, but both teams are doing it.
Listen, so much of our other stuff is messed up that this is a distraction. So it's like, our very real problems? Let's make some other problems that people will get riled up about.
And people are riled up.
Furries raise money for libraries after mayor threatens to withhold funds due to LGBTQ plus books. Now, a lot of our well-heeled tippers are furries, so thank you. And a bunch of furries got together to fund buying a lot of books to replace the books that have actually already been removed.
I mean, say what you want about furries, but is this a negative thing? Like, that's a
great.
positive. This is one in the corner for furries.
There are a lot of furries in the tech community.
You know
Some
what?
of them are well-heeled.
Pause. Pod?
Yeah.
They don't have heels.
Well, pod.
Because they're cat people.
Wow, what a microaggression you just committed.
The furries needed a win. Can we admit that?
Yeah.
They've had a lot of bad press.
Yeah.
This is good press for furries.
Have they had any good press? I think this might be the first positive furry story we've ever seen.
Positive. That's why people subscribe.
Now, Krista, I know that you are a huge advocate of milk.
Yeah, I love drinking milk.
You drink it almost constantly, and I also know that you are not someone to shy away from chocolate milk.
No, I don't drink as much as what I did when I was young. I would have been upset by this if I was in school when this happened.
But even you have to admit that is sugar water.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it is terrible for us. But
delicious, though.
Do we want the overlords making that decision for us? I would argue not.
Students begin protest after chocolate milk is banned at school. So in our generation, they took out, we had Fruitopia machines, and then we had Coke machines. They took out all of that, and then it was just, all you could get was milk or water.
They pretended there for a while that those fruit drinks were better than soda, but they had more sugar in some cases.
Yeah, they kept, it was the Coke machines that went first, then the Fruitopia.
Has it always been the case that the chocolate milk had crazy amounts of sugar?
Yes.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. I mean, and it was great, delicious, but definitely not healthy.
Usually I'm into all things, super sugar, but I never could get into chocolate milk. The first time I
Really?
tried chocolate milk, I think I had one that was spoiled,
Oh.
and I never connected that was...
That was your flavor profile that was filed away.
The problem with the chocolate milk is it was harder to tell if it was spoiled because it smelled like chocolate.
Well, I didn't like it at all, and I really like milk.
Have you ever gone back?
Yeah, I just don't have the taste for it.
That's not a bad thing, right?
But, I mean, the first time I tried it, it was just like, very,
Maybe.
very bad.
What if you've just uncovered an amazing new business that we can start where people hire us to selectively poison their children with bad foods? Yeah?
Are you sure you want a candy bar?
Yeah. We make like the most delicious pizza that you've ever had, and then we just rub raw pork all over
That's
it.
kind of a thing that they do with or you do with small children when they see you eating something and you're like, oh, I'm eating a vegetable. You wouldn't like it. Or it's spicy. You wouldn't like it. But you're actually eating like a chocolate bar.
The doctor that genetically modified those babies in China got 3 years, but maybe we can get him after he gets out to genetically modify the babies to not like those foods.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That's what we need. A generation of people who can't feel any joy running the country.
Aren't we kind of already there?
Well, here's a quick follow-up. We reported that in China, the movie Fight Club had the ending changed a bit. I guess they thought that no one would notice, but everyone noticed.
The original Fight Club ending has been restored in China after censorship backlash. In a rare censorship reversal, Chinese streamer Tencent Video has undone its maligned cuts to the conclusion of David Fincher's 1999 cult classic. Pretty sure that's only if you're streaming from outside China.
And if you do watch the real ending, you probably go on a list, just to be sure. Your social credit score might suffer a bit.
I missed this one.
Oh, yeah. I had this late last night.
This was a bizarre one, and this is one of those situations like we talked about last week with the mystery Canada brain disease,
Oh, yeah.
where it's just like it's been going on for a while, and no one can offer any.
No, there's no...
explanation.
I couldn't find a lot of articles about this, and no one has an answer for what it is.
And it how can we not figure this out? How is there not a team working on this?
Yeah.
No explanation for quote-unquote mystery liquid falling from sky over neighborhood.
This is in, I think, Utah?
Vegas.
So, yeah, it's just a particular neighborhood. It's just getting this weird liquid. And they had some interviews with people who lived in the area, and they're like, I can't go out and enjoy my yard or have a barbecue because I'm constantly worried about stuff falling on me or on my food.
And they say they're washing their cars every other day.
Which is a good thing to do in the desert.
I wonder if it has anything to do with Area 51.
I also had that thought. I was like, there's probably some military bases around there. But yeah, no
Okay,
details.
Let's go down that rabbit hole. What at Area 51 would create a black oily discharge that is aerosol?
Are they cloud seeding, but they're doing it wrong somehow?
I'm not thinking aliens. I'm thinking more like Tuskegee Airmen experiments.
Oh, so these people, we're going to figure out what's wrong. Yeah, okay.
There was a similar story, I think from the 1800s here in Kentucky, where meat fell from the sky, and they never could figure out exactly what caused that either.
Wendell,
There was a story.
I hope that you're not suggesting that America, the pinnacle of civilization, would resort to unwanted medical experimentation on its people.
Wouldn't be the first time.
What was the excuse for the meat?
Oh,
I never heard it.
There was a miner that had a whole bunch of leftover dynamite.
Did you just throw it in a field of pigs or something?
And his neighbor's herd of cows were constantly doing something that he didn't like, so he lured them all into this low spot and blew them up.
It covered a huge area, though.
Yeah.
Wow. Ooh.
That's I can understand being mad about the cows, but wow, that's really taking it out on them.
Yeah,
Right?
it's like, well, there's
not
no
their
more herd of
fault.
cows.
There's a couple horror stories like that about Eastern Kentucky. There's a place along the Sheltowee Trace when you hike called Dog Slaughter Falls. Don't ask why it's called Dog Slaughter Falls. It's not a good story.
Could it be that dogs were slaughtered there?
Maybe just a few.
Well, our next story, I got to say, shocked me. Not because of the contents of the story, but because I thought it was going to go the completely opposite direction.
It did not.
I wasn't ready for this at all.
CNN World reports hijab protests spread in India as girls refuse to be told what not to wear. That's right. It's like, hey, if we want to wear this, we're gonna wear this.
Wouldn't this be a religious freedom thing too? Like if you want to wear it?
It almost sounded like it's like we get heckled if we don't wear it, and this way we can just be left alone. And it's like, oh
no, it's the other way around. So India is majority Hindi.
Oh right, yeah.
And these girls are Muslim.
Yeah.
So the university is very much Hindi, and they look down on this as like face covering, that's archaic and wrong. So when these girls go to school, they get jeered at for wearing these things.
Okay.
Interesting. So they're fighting for their right to hide themselves, which is interesting.
I also don't like to be perceived, so fair.
Maybe you should get a hijab, Krista.
Unfortunately, I think that would make me more perceived.
And God, you know what? I am never disappointed. Week after week, we always get a black hole story.
Well, I mean, you're probably looking for them, right? But
no,
this one's a tiny baby one too.
I'm not looking. Baby. I'm not typing black hole anywhere. When I look at all the various
news sites
and stuff, inevitably there is one, and it's always great because it always plays into your particular
fear that it's going to spiral into Earth and kill us.
Because this one, guess where it is?
Oh no! Astronomers find first ever rogue black hole adrift in the Milky Way.
Adrift, Krista.
It could be very close to us, because the Milky Way is very small, as we all know.
It's only 7 times the mass of our sun. That is tiny. That is super tiny.
Stealth.
Yeah. Stealth black hole.
It's on a stealth mission.
It could, it's super tiny. It could just float right through, destroying everything in its path. Oops, there goes Jupiter.
And you know what? No one will be checking the space weather site. They'll never know it's coming. When it's a slow weather week, I check the space weather site.
Elon Musk will launch another batch of Starlinks and be like, well, where did those go?
And then, life ends on Earth.
And God, I love this story. This is so funny. And it's not fake because he said it himself. Turns out Shaquille O'Neal is a huge zoo aficionado. He claims, and why would we doubt him? He's very rich. He could easily make this a reality. Claims he's been to every zoo on Earth.
Wow.
Yeah.
And also claims that inevitably, in every single zoo that has a primate exhibit, this has happened.
The insider.com says, Shaquille O'Neal says gorillas freak out when he comes near, and a Zoo Miami executive confirms that they are intimidated by his large size. He went on to say, yeah, they often want to fight or they get aggressive or freak out.
The guy from the zoo, he believed it had to do with, because of Shaquille O'Neal's size, the gorillas feel like he might be there to take their women. And they feel like they have to react to that. They got to stand up for themselves.
Look how happy. I love this photo of him. Yeah. He looks so happy. He's like just the typical, he's even got the bucket hat, the typical tourist.
Yeah, he apparently is just in love with zoos. One of his favorite
That's
things.
A wholesome activity.
Is it though?
What, going to look at animals?
Yeah, but they're
he should be into conservation too, right? That would be a good use of his fame and money.
I don't know.
Or maybe he's not, but maybe he just really likes zoos and that's the only way he likes animals. But
well, Chrissy, he revealed this on his podcast, so the big podcast with Shaq. So you could probably check that out to find out. This is the zookeeper, the celebrity zookeeper, who revealed and confirmed.
That owl doesn't look happy that his picture's being taken.
This better not be an NFT.
We have a surprising number of falconers around here.
Oh, yeah. I went to a thing where they had someone from the Forestry Service do like a whole bird exhibit, and like the guy stood at the front and then he had the falcon fly back and forth across the room to him, which was really cool while he was talking about birds of prey in Kentucky.
I'm pretty sure that bird that was in here that I tweeted.
Oh, that little tiny, yeah.
It was a tiny falcon.
There was recently, apparently at some baseball games, they bring out a bald eagle, like Go America. And the guy, do you still call it a falconer when it's an eagle? The guy, he launched it, and so it was trained, I guess, to circle around a couple times. And then instead of coming back to that guy's arm, it just went and like attacked one of the outfielders. And I got to say, that guy, I don't remember his name or what team he was on, he handled it like a stone cold killer. Like he didn't react at all. Can you imagine how you would react if a bald eagle was coming at you?
I'd be a lot of flailing.
Yeah, he didn't like react. He just kept his back to it. It landed on his shoulder a little bit. He didn't even turn around and look at it.
Maybe they all got it's like a memo. It's like there's a small chance here. But,
Dude, how many memos do I have to write you that turns off fear of a bald eagle coming at you? That's a reaction. That's like a natural reaction.
Aren't bald eagles? Chat's gonna correct me, I'm sure, but like, aren't bald eagles kind of like the wimpiest eagle?
I don't know.
There was quite a bit of debate about making them the national bird.
I've definitely seen videos on YouTube of an eagle messing up.
They nest around here, which is kind of interesting.
Not nests.
Yeah, but aren't there much smaller eagles? I would think size would have something to do with that. It couldn't be the worst.
Of course, if the eagle wanted to mess up that baseball player, it would have just ripped off his shoulder.
Yeah. No, the eagle wasn't trying to attack him. I think it was just confused. I was just really impressed by this man's poise. I couldn't have done that.
That we could all be so brave in the face of an eagle.
Exactly.
Interesting.
I'm getting so many teams.
Yeah, same.
Right
My phone is just vibrating. I've like stuffed it under my leg so you can't hear it. But
bye.
Bye.